Hello, YouTubers, and welcome to Level-Headed News. This is your host, Brenda. Friday morning, the 18th of March. I have 5 articles in this episode for you, and all the URLs are in video for your convenience. First one here is off of Liberty Headlines, and it says, Ryan and Burr refute Trump's claim of Obama wiretapping. And it says the Speaker Paul Ryan, Republican of Wisconsin, on Thursday pushed back on President Trump's accusation that the Obama administration wiretapped or Trump Tower during the 2016 presidential campaign, saying no such wiretap existed. Intelligence committees, in their continuing, widening, ongoing investigations of all things Russia, got to the bottom, at least so far, with respect to our intelligence community, that no such wiretap existed. News conference, we've seen no evidence of that. Pressed about Trump's claim, comments Wednesday from House Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes, Republican of California, Trump's wiretap accusation. We don't have any evidence that that took place. Shortly after Ryan's comments, Senator Richard Burr, Republican, North Carolina, Senate Intelligence Committee, released a statement with the panel's top Democrat, Senator Mark Warner of Virginia, dismissing Trump's wiretapping claims. Based on the information available to us, we see no indications that Trump Tower was the subject of surveillance by any element of the United States government, either before or after Election Day 2016, they stated. Top Republicans have denied the allegations, as White House officials have modified their rhetoric on wiretapping claims the president initially made in a series of tweets earlier this month. Article off of Western Journalism says key Senate leader, sufficient response received on Trump wiretap claim. And as soon as the hamster catches up to me, running the little feller ragged here, says although the Department of Justice has asked for more time to respond to the House request for evidence related to President Donald Trump's claim that he was wiretapped during his presidential campaign, the chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee said he has received sufficient responses about the accusation. I've talked to all the appropriate people, said Senator Richard Burr, Republican of North Carolina. I would say from our conversation, what we've gotten are sufficient answers, he added. Although the House Intelligence Committee has imposed a Monday deadline, Burr noted that the House operations, the House operates differently than I do. Burr said associates of Trump supporter Roger Stone could committee due to Stone's connection with a hacker known only as Lucifer 2.0, who has claimed credit for hacking of emails of Democratic National Committee. Burr recently noted that to date, nothing he has seen regarding possible links between the Trump campaign and Russia, a special prosecutor. If at the end of the Intelligence Committee's probe, we found a reason to have a special prosecutor, I would gladly go out and call for one, but there's been nothing to suggest that this rises to the level of special prosecutor, he added. Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican of South Carolina, offered a different version of the Justice Department's cooperation, saying his request for the information about the wiretap claims has not been answered. I'm getting very ill-tempered over this, he said. I expect them to take some time, but judiciary has control over the FBI oversight. So I have said, okay, let's keep the committee process in place. So if the FBI runs over to the Intel Committee and they testify there, then my letter, I think that's a mistake because the FBI is under our jurisdiction. Graham also had a direct message for the FBI Director James Comey. You'll run afoul of the Judiciary Committee. If I were you, I wouldn't do that, he said. Director Comey trying to give you a little advice here. As Congress inches forward, of both Trump wiretapping claims and Russian involvement in the 2016 election, Trump picked up support from Representative Steve King, Republican of Iowa. I watched as the intelligence community has lied not only to me, but other members of Congress, even in classified settings, King said, and so I have my suspicion. The intelligence community had their long knives out for Trump and were looking to draw some blood. The next article here, party.org, and it says, breaking, former CIA director comes forward, spills beans about Trump. And this was breaking 2 days ago, okay? It says, it's from the Angry Patriot. It says, it's always extra satisfying when someone on the other side comes out in our favor. And this time it's no different. Former acting CIA director and Hillary Clinton endorser Michael Morell spoke out at an event on Wednesday held by Cipher Brief, saying there's absolutely no evidence to support claims of President Trump colluding with Russia by NBC News. On the question of Trump campaign conspiring with Russians here, there is smoke, but there is no fire at all. There's no little campfire, there's no little candle, there's no spark. And there's a lot of people looking for it, Morell stated. This is a pretty bold statement for Morell to make, considering it was he, among others, who started the Trump-Russia collusion place last August. However, we commend him for coming forward with the truth, now that he's no longer under Hillary's thumb. No doubt Morell started this ugly rumor, hoping to gain favor with the Democratic Party during the election season. After all, Clinton had promised to make Morell director of the CIA if she won. Now that Hillary Clinton has lost, Morell can go back to telling the truth about what really is going on, even if it means going against everyone else who still sides with the candidate he once publicly endorsed. At the Cyber Brief event, Morell also referred to the words of James Clapper, the former director of the National Intelligence. In a March 5th interview with Meet the Press, Clapper stated he had seen zero evidence of any ties between Trump and Russia. There's a pretty strong statement by General Clapper, Morell added. He clearly took the words of Director Clapper very seriously, as he's now changed his tune considerably. This is a devastating blow to the Democrat Party, as they have been from day one and now have a huge piece of egg on their face from one of their own insiders. It's good to see that some liberals are finally opening their eyes to the fact that our president did nothing wrong and that he, in fact, was a victim of the administration's abuse of power. Even Morell brought up the recent accusations of Obama using British agent to spy on Trump. As more and more evidence comes out, fewer and fewer baseless rumors are left for the true believers to grasp onto, as there's no Trump-Russia collusion going on, and more proof of that is surfacing each and every day. We've known for a long time that our president is on the up and up, but having respected member of the other side come out and say so as well can only help our cause. Soon everyone will have to wake up and face the truth. The next one I have is off of BizPack Review. And it says, how Russian cyber spies pulled off one of the biggest cyber heists in history. More than 500 million users were affected by the Yahoo hack in 2014, but this massive heist wasn't perpetuated by a team of cyber warriors. It was the brainchild of a couple Russian intelligence agents and their two hacker recruits. The hack was one of the largest data breaches in world history, and the subsequent indictments associated with it mark the first time U.S. has charged Russian intelligence officers for a cybercrime. The involvement and direction of FSB officers with law enforcement responsibilities makes this conduct that much more egregious, said Acting Assistant Attorney General Mary McCord in a statement on Wednesday. There are no free passes for foreign state-sponsored criminal behavior. Dmitry Dukachev, also known as Patrick Nagel, a 33-year-old Russian FSB agent, was the mastermind behind the hack. He was overseen by Igor Suchin, also an FSB agent and former information security head of a Russia financial company, where he reportedly provided information on the company's employees to the FSB. Both men worked for the agency's Center 18, the FSB's Center for Information Security. Suchin was the senior FSB official at the center during the Yahoo hack and oversaw the younger Dochachev, according to the Department of Justice statement. While Dochachev played an active role in the Yahoo operation, he was not the main hacker behind the breach. He tapped notorious Russian hacker Alexei Belin, aka Mag, to act as the primary hacker. Belin came to the operation with quite the resume, having racked up 2 prior indictments in the U.S. hacking e-commerce companies in September of 2012 through June of 2013. Dochachev partnership almost never happened. According to the indictment, Belin was arrested in an unnamed European country in 2013 under a provisional arrest warrant. He was slated to be extradited to the U.S. for prosecution, but was inexplicably able to escape prosecution by leaving the European country and fleeing to Russia. As a result, he was put on the FBI's list of most wanted hackers, sanctioned by President Barack Obama, and put under an Interpol red notice to be arrested and extricated. Russia is an Interpol member, but instead of arresting Belin, the FSB decided to recruit him. The practice is not uncommon in Russia, as the security service are known for frequently catch criminal hackers and offer them employment to avoid prosecution. Dochachev apparently did not wait long to put Belin to work, as the indictment claimed the operation against Yahoo began in early 2014. Belin and the company's hack and Yahoo computer network involved a mix of common hackers' tactics and clever methods to use traces. Belin acted as the point man for the hacking itself, while his FSB handlers fed him intelligence information to help avoid detection by U.S. and other law enforcement agencies. The group used 4 main tools to engage in the hack, some of which were located in the U.S.: virtual private networks, spear phishing attacks, and fake email accounts. Virtual private networks, or VPNs, use encryption to provide secure access to a computer on the internet, essentially allowing the user to hide their actions from the public eye. The use of fake messages to trick a user into giving a hacker access to their accounts and computers, the same tactic Russian hackers supposedly used to hack the email account of Hillary Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta. Belin targeted 2 aspects of Yahoo's network to gain access to user information: Yahoo Account Management Tool, ATM, and its user database, or UDP. UDB. To put it simply, the UDB contains user information that the hackers, passwords, phone numbers, while the ATM is the tool Yahoo uses to make and log changes to user accounts. Essentially, the UDB contained the treasure trove. AMT was the key to accessing it. When Belin combined the 2, he was able to potentially access information to Yahoo's 1 billion users. The hacking group also engaged in a technique known as cookie minting to gain access to accounts. Cookies are small files stored on a computer or user's computer by the computer's web browser. When a user connects to an email server, the server can read the cookie data to obtain information on the user. This allows the user to continue to access their accounts without having to constantly re-enter passwords. By minting or making fake copies of these cookies, both inside and outside of Yahoo's network, the Russian hacking collective was able to access accounts by making the company's servers believe they already had valid access. Approximately 6,500 accounts fell victim to this technique, according to the Department of Justice. Minted cookies also help the hackers narrow down their targets. Most of the 500 million accounts affected by the breach had only things like usernames and passwords stolen. able to pinpoint targets of potential intelligence value by searching recovery emails associated with a company or organization the user may have worked for. High-ranking foreign officials in countries near Russia, a Russian journalist who worked for Kommersant, and a leading Russian newspaper once owned by the now deceased Boris Berezovsky, an unabashed critic of Russian President Vladimir Putin. U.S. officials and other targets of intelligence interests. Bellin not only hacked Yahoo users for intelligence purposes, he was also able to make a little money on the side. He accessed 30 million accounts, stole their address books, and engaged in a huge spam email marketing scheme. He searched some of the accounts for credit and gift card information, as hackers tend to do. But perhaps most fascinating was an ad scheme that involved hacking Yahoo's search engine to show fake erectile dysfunction ads. When clicked on, the links directed users to a cloud computing firm website and then an online pharmacy, which paid Bellin for a bounty for each click. While Bellin was hacking Yahoo from 2014 through late 2016, Dochachev and Sushchin directed another hacker, Carmen Baratov, aka K, to concurrently hack into Google and other unnamed email providers, including an unnamed Russian provider. In some cases, the hacker group used information gained from the Yahoo hack to attack other providers. Baratov's hack was not as widespread as Bellin's, but it was well targeted. His 18 victims included an assistant to the deputy chairman of the Russian Federation and an organization known as the Bureau of Special Technical Projects, which investigates cyber tech and child pornography cases for Department K of the Russian Ministry of Internal Affairs. For his services, Dochachev paid Baratov a bounty of approximately $100 for each victimized account. Baratov, a 22-year-old Canadian national of Kazakh background, lived a lavish lifestyle with an even flashier online persona featuring pictures of the young hacker with $100 bills and expensive sports cars. He reportedly made his first $1 million by age 15 through unknown means. His lifestyle came to an abrupt end Wednesday when Toronto and Royal Canadian Mounted Police arrested him for his role in the Russian hacking plot. His extradition to the U.S. is pending. Bellin and his Russian handlers were more subtle in their actions, as evidenced by the careful cover-up inside Yahoo's network. In addition to using the minted cookies to cover their tracks, Bellin used what are known as log cleaners, small programs which hide computer logs from a server to ensure Yahoo did not become aware of his activity. Those careful steps only worked for so long. U.S. law enforcement and intelligence were inevitably able to gather evidence of the group's alleged crimes. The Department of Justice did not comment on the methods used, only telling reporters that it was lawful and legal. The indictment of the hacker group is a historical marker for the Department of Justice, but the likelihood of 3 Russians facing prosecution on U.S. soil is low. Russia and the U.S. do not have a formal extradition treaty, and given the frosty relations between the two countries, the Kremlin will probably not be keen on handing over top intelligence agents to a major rival. Regardless, U.S. officials said they remained committed to prosecuting cybercrime wherever it happens. Cybercrime poses a significant threat to our nation's security and prosperity, and this is one of the largest data breaches in history, the Attorney General Jeff Sessions said in a statement on Wednesday. The United States will vigorously investigate and prosecute the people behind such attacks to the fullest extent of the law. And the final article in this episode, conservativetribune.com, and it says, Judge Knapp, 3 intel sources say Obama used foreign spies against Trump. Fox News commentator Judge Andrew Napolitanto Tuesday when he said that former President Barack Obama may have used a foreign spy agency to surveil President Donald Trump, and a move that would have basically eliminated any trail leading back to the former president's administration. During an interview on Fox News, Fox and Friends, Napolitanto said that Obama bypassed American spy agencies and obtained transcripts from Britain's government communication headquarters, which is the equivalent of the U.S. National Security Agency. And sources have informed Fox News that President Obama went outside the chain of command. He didn't use the NSA, he didn't use the CIA, he didn't use the FBI, and he didn't use the Department of Justice, Napolitanto said. So by simply having two people go to them saying President Obama needs transcripts of conversation involving candidate Trump, conversations involving President-elect Trump, he's able to get it. And there's no American fingerprints on this, he concluded. Rutgers reported that a British security official, policy and security operations, said that Napolitanto's charge was totally untrue and quite frankly absurd. The official added that the GCHQ can only carry out intelligence operations where it is legal in both the US and the UK to do so. The GCHQ declined to comment on the matter. If Obama did use foreign spy agency, it could mean that federal investigators may never find evidence that Obama ordered surveillance on Trump Tower during the presidential campaign. Obama using a foreign agency to cover his tracks while obtaining information on Trump wouldn't unfortunately be terribly surprising. A WikiLeaks report has already revealed that the former president was inclined to spy on others, including world leaders. While such activity is shameful enough, even more disgraceful is mainstream media's attempt to turn a blind eye to any news related to Obama's propensity. And that's all I have for you in this episode. If you like what I'm doing, give it a thumbs up, share it on your social media so everybody gets to hear the news. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that. That way you'll stay informed. See you in the next episode.